Hi everybody, it's Alexa here from Pages of Forbidden Love, and I'm here for my October to be read pile. I cannot believe it's already October. It feels like September went by, just in a flash. It didn't even seem like a whole month went by. Which I guess that kind of happens when you're in school and you're busy with school again and, blogging and volunteering your time at the library and all the things that I do from week to week. So September went by really fast, and I think I did read everything, though, that I said I was going to read. I might have been like a book off. So I actually did pretty well in September of sticking to a list and getting stuff done. This month, I have a crazy random list that I know I'm never going to be able to finish or never going to be able to get through, but I've got it all set up anyway. The reason it's kind of a bigger list this time around is because the 24-hour Dewey readathon is coming up on October 13th. It's an all-day 24-hour readathon, just in case 24-hour readathon didn't tell you that. And I normally try and participate. I've participated the past 2 times, and I really love doing it. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually do it on October 13th or not, though, because I have a final and a midterm that are happening just a few days after that. So, like, the whole weekend, I'm going to be mostly just studying. But I might break it up, and I might just take all day Saturday and just be like, hey, I'm going to read. I can only study so much for a final and for a midterm. But enough of me rambling. Let's show you the books, which is what you're all here for anyway. The first couple books are on my Nook, so unfortunately I don't have the pretty covers to show you, but I will actually link up the covers below so that you can see all the beautiful covers down there. The first one, which is actually what I'm reading right now, I'm going to be continuing to finish into October, is Velveteen. It's kind of like a spooky story. It's way darker than I thought it was. The girl is stuck in purgatory, but she can go up to, Earth and haunt people. And she's haunting, a serial killer guy who actually murdered her. And it's, really kind of dark and twisted. So it's really cool, but it's a lot different than what I thought it was going to be. So there's that. I also have Mara Dyer 2, which is the evolution of Mara Dyer to read. I can't believe I didn't start reading Mara Dyer 2 sooner. I've had it, I think, for 2 months. I already got approved for it a while back, and just never read it yet. So I need to read it, though, because it's coming out in October. So I need to read it in early October. What else do I have on my Nook? I'm on tour for Of Blood and Bone, which is kind of it's supposed to be for adults, but I think it could be probably classified as that new adult genre, where, the characters still might be a little bit younger, in kind of college age, in their 20s, but it covers some adult themes, which, I kind of think that's what Of Blood and Bone is. I don't really know because I haven't read it yet, but I would kind of say that that's where that is. And then let's see. I also have Dark Heroine, which Harper's actually publishing this one. It was originally published on a kind of an online website, where the author was just kind of posting little pieces of the story, and people really fell in love with it online, so she the author decided to finish it, and then she got picked up by Harper to publish it. So I'm really excited to read that one and see what that's about. It also kind of seems like the new adult genre, where it's kind of older teen, or possibly headed towards adult. Somewhere in there is where I think that one also is lying. I think that's all the Nook books. So like I said, I'll put all the covers below because they all have amazing covers that you guys should really check out. And of course, you should check out the books too. Let's move on to physical books that I'm going to try and read. First up is Send Me a Sign. I'm actually on tour for this one in the first full week of October. I think it's the 9th, I want to say. I'm on tour for this one, so I do need to read it before that happens. So after I finish Velveteen, this is probably what I'm going to be reading. And then I'm also on tour for another book. Bianca and I are going to be double reviewing this one, and it's Valkyrie Rising. I actually got this at ALA, and Bianca said she was going to be on tour for it, and I was like, well, I have a copy, so if we can do a double review for the tour, that would be pretty awesome. So I think it's going to be our first double review of something, so be sure to check that out in mid-October. I also got some books for review that are November publication dates, but I wanted to try and get them done in October anyway, just to kind of like show you them beforehand or try and get them done beforehand. The first one is Lord Grey's List. I haven't really heard anything about this before, but I'm interested in starting it. It sounds like a pretty cool like historical romance from what it looks like. Looks pretty good. And another one is Burning Up. This one has like a really amazing cover, but they didn't send me the cover flap of this one. And this one's kind of supposed to be kind of like a, what do they call themselves? They call themselves like fire jumpers or something like that. They're not like, they're supposed to be sort of like specialized firefighters, I think. There's like a term for them, and I know that somebody talked about it, but now I don't remember what the term was. But it sounds really cool. They're kind of like guys who fight fires and things like that. I think they're called fire jumpers, though, if I'm not mistaken. But that sounds really good. And recently, actually yesterday, I had Johnny and I go through my entire bookshelf, well, all of my bookshelves, since I have several of them. And we went through to try and see what type of series I have on my shelf that I have yet to finish. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Amanda from On a Bookbender, Kelly from Reading the Paranormal, and Smash from Smash Attack, they kind of were keeping track of like their series that they had to finish, and they were trying to like get as many series done as they could. And you know, I unfortunately just kind of don't have the time normally to read many pleasure books because I have so many review books lately. But I actually went through all my shelves and tried to figure out what series I still have yet to finish. And sadly, one of the top series on there that I still had yet to finish was the Cat and Bone series. Even though the series is not done, I would like to be caught up on it. This is book 4. So I have done a good job of reading the first couple books, but then for some reason just never got around to the 4th book. I think I actually read book 3 during the last 24-hour readathon I started it. So it'd actually be really cool to maybe include this in my 24-hour readathon pile. Like I said, if I do the 24-hour readathon. And then another series that I have started recently, and I really enjoy it, and I'd like to continue to read it. And I've actually been reviewing this series over at Stephanie at Once Upon a Chapters blog. So if you want to catch my reviews for the first 2 books in the series, go check out her blog. I'll link her below so you can go over there and check out the reviews. But this is the 3rd book called Tempting Evil, and the story is really good so far. The 2nd book kind of toned it down in the steam department. The 1st book was really kind of just like strung together steamy scenes that had a plot but not much of one. The 2nd book picked up a lot of extra characters and had a lot of extra plot going on, so I'm really interested to find out what is going to happen next. Because I think it's really good if you start this series and then read this series in order and then pretty close to each other, because there are so many little secret things that happen in each book that it's just so much easier to pay attention to the series if you keep them, like, if you read one a month or one every other month. It's easier to keep up with all kind of like who everybody is, what their story is, what secrets they introduce to the story, what part in the big overall mystery that they play, and things like that. So I'm trying to keep up with that series because I know that if I don't, I'm going to forget all of the little things that happened. And then next I have 2 library books that I'm going to try and get through, and I think I'm going to be getting a 3rd library book soon, but that's neither here nor there. The first library book is The Diviners. Either way. I think it's The Diviners. We'll go with that. This is Libba Bray's new book, and I've never actually read anything by Libba Bray. I know that she was really popular for the A Great and Terrible Beauty. That's the first book in that series. I'm not sure if it's called A Great and Terrible Beauty series or if there's a name for that series, but she wrote those books and people really loved them, and I haven't read anything by her, so I thought maybe I'd try this one, but I'm a little bit skeptic now because a lot of people are saying that this is kind of like a very long book. There's a lot of plot points to it. The plot kind of gets like to be too much after a while because it's like 600 pages of plot and all of these characters running around in the story. So we'll see about this one. Hopefully I'll have time for it. And one I know I definitely really want to make time for is Diva. This is the 3rd and I believe the last book in the Flapper series. And I really love this series. I know most people haven't even like heard of it, But all of the books are reviewed on my blog, so if you want to check those out and see if you're going to like the series or not, you can go check those out. I'll probably link them below, so make it easier on you. But it's a really good series. Obviously, it's called the Flapper series, and based on how she looks, I think that you can guess that it's set in the 1920s. I think this one goes a little bit into the 1930s, too, kind of as, like, the Flapper kind of time is ending, I think is kind of where these books are kind of set, between the 1920s and the 1930s. So, for anybody who really likes historical stuff, these are really good for you. Even if you're not a big fan of historical stuff, I would urge you to try it out anyway, because the most that they really talk about is just kind of some of the Flapper stuff, and like some parts of the mob kind of come into the story, which is actually really cool to read about. So even though it does have historical elements to it, I think even if you're not a big fan of historical fiction, that you would actually really like this one. So what is that, like 10 or 11 books that I'm trying to read? So like I said, we'll see if I get through all these. There is the 24-hour readathon happening on October 13th, which I will put all of the information for that below. There's also the 22 on 22 readathon happening here at Pages of Forbidden Love for Bianca's birthday. It starts on October 22nd and goes all the way to October 28th. So that's kind of a whole week of just fun reading, and I do hope to actually get some reading done in between monitoring all the participants and all the challenges and prizes that we're going to be giving away. So I hope to do some reading then too. So, I mean, I have a lot planned out, but we'll see how it goes. So, happy reading, and if you have a to be read pile video or post or something that you want to talk about, or if you've read any of the books that I'm going to try and read this month, just let me know maybe which one was the best one. And have a great reading week. Bye, guys!